boatingbanner.com fans. Captain Larry here. We got chapter 19. Okay, we are finished. I was going to show you the underneath, but it's the exact same thing we did with the seat. So really you gain nothing. I'll show you there's a couple of strips you need to put down when you have an angle like that to keep the backing in place. But otherwise, we're in good shape here. So this is going to be a real short video. I just wanted to show you the finished product. You can go to chapter 8 if you want to see what the original product looked like. This is what we got now. We'll go over a few details, and I want to summarize the prices here. Okay, this is the seat we did. Came out very nice, I thought. These pleats or wiggles, or I don't know what they call them. I guess they're pleats. Were the most difficult part of this. But it was nice, has the pleats, good size, everything came out nice and smooth, not too many wrinkles. Lines are nice and straight, the piping is straight. The seams look pretty good. Again, this is the backing. Whoops, the backing we did, and it's exactly the same on this. Just this is the backing, and we put the hide 'em around there to hide the staples. So that was pretty good. Now the backrest sun deck combo was a little tough, specifically these headrests. I thought this was hard. A lot of really tight turns, a little tough, but they came out really nice. This is the one here we had to build from scratch. They had lost one of the tops, the headrest here, so I think it came out pretty good. You don't notice it too much compared to the others. This was the backrest here, was done separately. Very similar, of course, to the seat with the pleats and the piping. So anyway, it came out pretty good. Let me see if I can get this thing turned over so you can take a peek at the underside. There we go. That's the underside. Saying just to hide them. You have to put these two strips, is what I was referring to, because we have an angle here, plus we have this brace to hold the backing in place. You really need to put this kind of stuff down. Now, I noticed when I took it off, and I've seen it in other boats, it seems to be like a little piece of cardboard or plastic that they staple into to hold these corners. But I don't know where you even get those things, so I just put the hide 'em on there, and it does the same kind of thing. I had to reapply the light holder. But anyway, so it came out, I think it came out pretty nice. I'm very proud of it. Let's go over the costs. Okay, for the vinyl that we used on the seat in this section here was $80, 16 yards I used, and so it came out to $80. The batting that I used on most of the pieces, I didn't use it on this because I didn't need it, but the batting was $25. The piping core, which is inside, of course, the piping, was only $5. Hide-em was about $30 for all the pieces, and the foam was around $25, $30 just for that one piece. You can't buy much less, so you really got to kind of buy it. So I don't know what price to use. I used 30, so that comes to only $140. $65 my friend spent in wood, so it comes to $205. Now, if you price this out to a regular person doing an upholstery shop, you'll get quite a range. I would guess, my opinion, because we had to redo the wood, that the seat would have cost you probably $350 to get the upholstery part done and replacing the wood. It's a pretty good sized seat. So I guess about $350 for that. Now, the seat, I mean, this sun deck combination with this being a seat also, I would say probably the sun deck just by itself would cost you in the $650 range with the wood having to be replaced, $650, $700. This would cost you, being as like a, you had to replace the wood and reupholster it, this is going to cost you in the $350 area. And each headrest, because we had to replace the wood, and this one we had to replace the foam, and just the amount of time it goes in there to do the sewing and stuff, I would guess they would want about $100 a piece for doing them, would be my guess. So anyway, you put it all together, you're talking a $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 job here. If you do have a professional do it, it would be a little plus and minus, of course, depending on who you talk to, but I bet you I'm not too far off. So anyway, we spent a little over $200, and you can go out and spend $1,600 or whatever to do it professionally. So I guess the question is, do you want to try to do your own upholstery? And I'm simply saying it's not easy, and you do need the equipment, but if you go through all the way from my chapter 1 through this chapter 19, and you'll have every piece of instruction you need to do this. And with a little bit of practice, I think most people can do it. I mean, I had no skills. See, the reason I got involved in this was that I got screwed by an upholstery guy who said he'd do a couple of pieces for me for $500, and then almost charged me $1,000 by the time I got him back. So that's a joke. So I said never again, and so that's when I decided to do this. Like I say, I'd never sewn a stitch. I had no talent in this area. Maybe some people agree, I just still don't. But I think these come out pretty good. I'm very persnickety with my boats. I don't like bad and vinyl in there, so I fix them, and that's the main reason I got in it. And I say I'm doing some for some friends and that kind of thing, to try to save them some money. And they're happy with the quality of work I do. I guess it's good enough for them. So anyway, if I can recommend anything, is I think you should give it a try. You can try it with some real basic tools. I would probably suggest getting a good sewing machine. I think with the number of layers of fabric we have to go through on some of these, you're really talking about 5 or 6 layers of vinyl, plus you've got to go through a foam core on sometimes, so it's you need some power. But the rest of the stuff you can pick up very inexpensively. I'd say the machine I have, sewing machine, it was a $600 item, so I don't know if you consider that, but you do one upholstery job like this and you've paid for everything. And of course now you can do it either for your friends or do it for your future projects or whatever. So I highly recommend you all try this. I think sometimes it's fun. I enjoy to see it when it's done. I'm not crazy about some of the sections you got to go through to get to this point, but when it's done, it looks pretty good. There's a degree of accomplishment there, and then you'll be looking at it in your boat, and I think you'll like it. Hopefully you'll like it. In the worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, you can always go to the upholstery guy, you know, have the work done at a high price. But it does take some time. I was going to try to estimate the hours I've spent, because upholstery people charge by the hour, just like a mechanic, and it's usually from $70 to over $100 an hour, depending on how good they think they are. I have quite a few hours in this. Of course, I taped it, so it takes a little bit longer when you're dealing with the YouTube. But you know, it's I would think if I put my head down, I could do this like in a week, just working like half days. Probably take me a full week to do it all. So I don't know if that's accurate or not, or whatever. When the guy told me about my 2-piece, just a sun deck like this and a bench a little bit bigger than that, he said it was going to take him over 10 hours to do it, and he had to replace the wood too. So, you know, I guess estimating a week's worth of work, getting everything disassembled and cut, and then of course put everything back together again and all that, probably about right. You don't want to kill yourself. I just took my time. This took me several weeks here filming it. So, but if you just concentrated, you probably could do it. Anyway, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this series, It is now officially finished. I am going to continue. We are doing that thread experiment. Plus I have a couple of backrests in my cockpit area that I want to do this winter. So I will just from time to time throw in a random video if you're interested, may be of interest or may not be of interest. And anyway, but the series on the upholstery is now officially done. I thank you very much for showing up and putting up with me. I hope you think that we did some kind of good work here, and I wish you the greatest luck on your project. Have a great day.